What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we're here with ES from the Eat Love Migrate channel. Now, how I came upon learning about her channel, it was recommended to me. I started to watch it, and I thought it was very interesting, some things that I was seeing on her channel. So I say, why not, in 2020, let's reach out to everybody that's doing the same thing on the continent and trying to spread that message. So ES, thank you for joining us on the show today.
Thank you very much, Phillip. I really appreciate it. I'm happy to be here.
All right, let me ask you a question. Now, many people may not know, who you are, even how you got, to Ghana. Can you tell people a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is ES. I'm the presenter of Eat Love Migrate channel. I've been on YouTube for about, let's say, maybe about 7 or 8 years. I had other channels, but just about a year ago, I decided that I wanted to create a travel channel dedicated to my interest in traveling or migrating to the continent of Africa. So that's pretty much a basic story about me. My channel is specifically about different experiences here on the continent. And I decided to travel to as many different African countries as I could. Now, I'm currently in Ghana. I had no plans on staying here, but I met so many great people that I decided to begin my first project of self-sustainable living and or introducing people to traditional spiritual concepts here. So that's pretty much why I'm here. So even though I went to some other African countries and loved them, this my first project will be here. So you probably caught a glimpse of that in some of my current videos. I'm also a seed distributor. I have a business with a partner of mine. We sell indigenous seeds, and these are seeds which are compatible with our DNA makeup. So we're talking about seeds from all over the world that have been grown here for hundreds and hundreds of years. So you can find that on my website at eatlovemigrate.com. So my whole, let's say, I guess my philosophy of life is all about getting out there, um, expanding upon our options that we have and not feel as though we are limited to our, positions within the US or whatever, and that we can get out there and live a life that we want on our terms. And so that's pretty much me, the basics of me.
All right, so I was reviewing, like say, some live stream you had posted, and you were speaking about before you decided to go to Ghana. And this particular live stream I heard you speaking about was you had went through a divorce, and that you were starting your life on your own. But when you started your life on your own after that, like I said, I can relate to that. I know all about that. Going through,
Yes.
a hard divorce is not, it's very, very emotionally draining. It's definitely physically taxing and financially taxing. But when you're trying to rebuild your life again, what, made you say, what, I think I want to go see the continent and what that got to offer?
Well, when I was in the US, I was having a hard time being happy there. For many years, I never felt at home. So it actually, my interest in the continent began before I got divorced. Me and my ex, we were supposed to move to Brazil, many years ago, but he didn't have that fire and that courage that I had. So of course we divorced, and it was really tough because he took pretty much everything and left me out in the cold. So I had to start from scratch within the U.S. But I felt like I was struggling a little too much. I was running businesses, but I had no support. I had no economic support, no spousal support, no child support. Everything was focused directly on me, and it felt extremely unnatural. So, because of my interest in health through Dr. Sabi, I began to investigate my heritage, my culture, my origins, and that is what led me to the continent. So, of course, like everyone else, I did the DNA, but it actually went far beyond just what my DNA results said, because once I tapped into the traditional spirituality or the origins of my ancestors and what they used to believe prior to colonialism, it it ignited just this fire within me to want to know where my people came from. And I didn't care if it was 50 million tribes within me. I just wanted to connect, and it was extremely accurate, especially when I got here and I realized how comfortable I had become. Like, I felt at home, all the things that I felt in the US, the pressures and the stress, it was so unnormal. It was unnatural. It was not normal. And so when I get to the continent, I realized that what I was feeling in the States was 100% accurate. It was not my home. So that's how all that started.
Well, you mentioned those pressures and things that you feel in the U.S. Could you describe that for people that maybe, can't articulate what you was feeling, but they feel the same way?
Wow, Philip. We're talking about just not feeling very at home. I didn't like the feeling. I'm just going to speak candidly with you. I didn't like how I felt when I was amongst Caucasian people and how I felt. I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel a connection. And I felt like anything that they had to bring to my life was always something oppressive, such as bills, debts. It was nothing very personal for me in my life journey where I felt a connection with them, where I felt loved by them. And so I always wondered, like, what is this? Like, I don't get this. Why am I here in a place where I have this constant evil eye on me? So we're talking about not only just bills and debts and all that stuff, but our environment, the things which I was consuming. We're talking about the water, what they're spraying in the air, the foods, everything being poisoned. It was just a bombardment of so many different pressures that I felt like I was going to explode. So that's what I mean by these pressures. Everything that we deal with, from our mortgages, our rent, our jobs, everything, it was just pressures at every angle, and it was extremely unnatural. Contrary to being somewhere like this where people own their land, or you can purchase your land and you build your house, done. you know you're done, and now you can live free, especially if you build sustainably and you move forward. People support each other here. That's another thing within the states, that I was feeling, is that I didn't have the strong tribal community support which I needed, which I have now. And it wasn't as if I was strategically trying to go find my tribe. I guess just on the continent, it just kind of happens. You find your tribe, even if they're not from the same bloodline as you. So community is very heavy here. It is the number one factor within African culture, community and family. Unfortunately, in the States, the pressure of not having support there can weigh on your body. And this is why a lot of our cousins, our family members are sick and dying from various diseases, because of the pressure of not having support. So, yeah.
Well, I can agree with you in a lot of instances, but people that maybe been living this all their life, let's say, and they can't really relate to transporting over there, because a lot of African Americans even ask me questions about, well, and I'm asking them questions. I can't believe when I'm about to ask you, but I'm doing this for a reason. Um, do they have like running water there?
Wow. Yeah. Plenty of
No, no, no.
running
Do
water.
you feel? Well, no, I'm asking you questions that people say in the comment section. Do you feel safe in Ghana?
Oh my gosh. I hate to say 100%, but yes, 100% safe. That was part of the reason why I decided that this was going to be my future home and I was going to stay put and I had no need to look backwards, because I do feel safe. It's because of the particular community that I chose. Like, I could leave and I know that people aren't going to just take my things, because within this particular culture, they don't do that where I'm at currently. Okay. So there's a great sense of community as well as safety. I sleep very well at night. I just it's just the strangest thing ever. I never felt safe in the U.S. I just did not feel safe. I energetically just was not vibing it. And yes, there is running water. There's running. I mean, the city provides water, but then you have also where people have their own water source, where they'll hire someone to come and bring you your own water, and or you could dig a borehole and run the water through your own establishment or home or whatever. And so you have indefinite water, which I'm doing, which I'm working on next in the project. Or you can dig your own well and then just scoop it out or whatever. So there's many waterways. Within certain villages, you're going to see people, of course, are living in underdeveloped ways, but this has to do with various reasons, particularly due to WS, white supremacy, and unfortunately certain religious ideologies which have oppressed our people in various ways. But that's not what this is about. You asked me about water. Sorry. So yes, there's definitely running water.
Well, no, no, you good. You good expounded on that. Now, this the thing, because people will say this, and you can answer this question. Well, why is it that they're trying to come over here to the U.S. and you want us to go over there to Africa? Like what's up with that? And now, could you explain the difference with being an American coming into the continent versus a person that's there?
Well, these are amazing and very poignant questions. These questions are on point, and I've been asked them as well. And I've seen it for myself. And even when I came, I wondered, like, why are they going over there again? Because you have educational institutions here, you know, higher academia. People here are brilliant. But I think the problem that we're having here begins when they're very small. The educational system is geared or groomed for a Western lifestyle. So the promotion of self-sustainability, self-sufficiency, homegrown economics, all of these things is not promoted here, unfortunately. It's just the reality. It's almost as if like their religious ideologies comes first, you know, then family, and then get out of here and go make something of yourself and send us some money, you know, when you make it. And it's like when the people send the money, it's just like small money for them to buy rice and basic needs versus being taught different areas of economic development, self-sustainability, you know, engineering, all of these great different fields which are active in the world. Instead of trying to get and fuel someone else's legacy, learn whatever it is that you're going to learn worldwide and bring it back home and build upon that. But people would have to be inspired by the entrepreneurial aspect of our society. See, people aren't like they're embracing entrepreneurship, but they're looking at it as a hustle or struggle or stress instead of saying like, this is my family's legacy, this is how we're going to continue our heritage and maintain our languages as well as our customs and our traditions and still modernize. There's a disconnect there, and I strongly believe it has to do with our spiritual ideologies which have been discombobulated due to white supremacy.
No, and this is another question people ask me, and I mean I know the answer to this, but I want you to say it instead of me. Should you go to the continent looking for a job if you're going to move there?
Okay, so if you watch my videos, you would know that I'm the last person to ask that because the answer is going to be absolutely not and no. Why would you do this? Why not come and create the wealth amongst the communities? African cousins, men and women, are very excited when we come here, especially bringing development. You know, whatever it is, if you have a computer agency, system security analyst, whatever it is, you're coming to help develop the country. You're employing. They like that. They appreciate that. So not only are you helping to sustain and build wealth for yourself, but the community. They appreciate people coming and bringing jobs here. Unfortunately, we have the same problem in Western culture. Our people do not believe in themselves enough to say, you know, I have been trained in this or that. I have, you know, a doctorate in this. I'm a medical this or that, right? They don't believe in themselves to come and begin their own private practices here. You know, it's almost as if they go about with a defeated type of mentality. You know, it's where, oh, it's just too much. Yeah, it's a lot of too much here. Yes, but it's so raw and it's so ready, and there's just so many opportunities here that is almost ridiculous for people to not see the opportunities that lie here for them.
Yes, because this is the thing. I was doing some research the other day about because I'm looking whatever country, a few countries I'm looking into where we can do, you know, our, you know, show and set up a studio. And it's just so easier to go do it there to set up an actual studio with a bunch of employees than it would be here in the US.
Absolutely.
And I can get
Absolutely.
journalists, you know, right out of college, or some of them looking for jobs and don't even break the bank paying them. And you got a college
Exactly.
trained journalist.
I completely agree. And unfortunately, many of those trained journalists, excuse me, many of those trained journalists will hop right on that boat. Doctors, engineers, future chemists, they'll hop on that boat with a dream and they'll go give it, you know, to them, unfortunately. And I don't say this in a way to despise, you know, white people or to divide, but unfortunately, in my opinion, and fortunately, I think that it's time to divide and protect our own because we've been, you know, bamboozled in every way imaginable. So the idea that you have would work well here because you're a professional, you've learned your craft, you've mastered your craft. So if you come and you bring that education here, people would capitalize off of that. They would love that. And you would find loyalty amongst them joining your team. You know, people are very happy to join and network here. You know, they really appreciate that because they know that it's going to help them to develop. And I mean, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, because if you set something up in an African nation and you could jump on, even World Remit, pay them from right here if you coming back here for whatever reason, or you going back and forth. I mean, it's too easy now.
There's various ways to fund one another.
Yeah, the global
Absolutely.
connect, like say the global connect, because I've paid people before to do things for me in the continent, and it's just so quick. And you have so much talent on the continent as well. We got talent here, but let's call it what it is. Recently, yes, I was looking for someone to do some graphic design work, and when you look at what people charge here versus what this one brother was charging in Nigeria, I'm like, oh, it's for a small business that don't have the capital. In this country, they do not give Black people the capital in business. They don't.
Absolutely.
Even if you have a good credit score, or whatever, they don't care, right?
Yeah.
If we look elsewhere on the continent, we can get a lot of work done.
Yes. And one thing that they do practice here, and it may be on I guess, a small scale, is group economics. Like if they have a cause, they go to everyone and people contribute. And I've seen this during funerals. I've seen this during, weddings, naming ceremonies, and it can be done with businesses as well, small businesses. They practice it amongst the women. Sometimes they just lack enough capital to actually make it bigger, as well as management. Okay, so they'll have the idea, they'll have the materials, but they'll lack enough push behind them. Okay, so it's only enough to help them sustain themselves versus let's grow this for about a year, reinvest it, so they're just growing to survive. And so it's quite unfortunate. And so that's why I just look like, wow, we're missing the mark in so many ways because the opportunities are ridiculous. I've done videos on this. I've given out so many ideas, because I'm here. So I feel how the people are. They're us. We're the same. They just have more, more focus on family. Family is big here. Community is big here. They don't have to wave flags to let you know it. It's just obvious and it's in your face. They support each other, and it's nothing to philosophize. It just is what it is. So if this could be applied towards our cousins and our family members in the States to have courage within themselves to come up with their business plans and to come bring it here, they would be very happy. The continent does something very different for us. It takes us on a whole nother level, and I truly appreciate it.
Yeah, you mentioned family. I grew up, like say, in the South, and family was always a big thing. And just even now, how a lot of us are in the Black community, even in the South, it isn't the same. And then when I went, the first time I went to Ethiopia, and then like I said, I went to Kenya after that, and how they feel about family and culture reminded me so much of Southern culture, but on steroids. And I love this because I'm so big about family. I think that's the most important thing ever is family.
Yeah. And might I add to that, it's unfortunate, but that has been an issue with me. I come from a very small family, an injured and traumatized family due to the Atlantic slave trade. So the residue of those things really affected my family. It has been shown through spiritual divinations here on the continent. And so that's why I also took initiative with looking more into, well, why did these things happen? And, why is my family like this? And how do we make it better? We make it better by coming back here. It's easy to observe in the videos and take classes and say, oh, tradition this and learning, but it's nothing like being immersed in it and removing all the layers of fear and just coming and just diving in and just observing. You don't have to be it, but observing it does so much for the soul. It's amazing to watch how these people interact.
It is, but then another thing people say, and maybe you could talk about this. Well, you content creators, you guys go over there because some of you guys got money. What about us here in America? We can't go to an African nation. We don't have no money to do that. Now, maybe you could speak to that question because see, I'm throwing everything at you what they tell me. That's what I want you to tell them.
I'm tickled to my core. I'm tickled to my core regarding this because no, you do not have to be rich to come here. As a matter of fact, I felt like slave master tried to hold me up before I came because I had a plan as to how much I wanted to leave with and all of that. And my money was sabotaged. So I had a plan B though. I said, I'm going to have a business and it's going to be online. That way I can have the freedom to move about. So I activated that before I left. So I had smaller money. We're talking small money hood money. You understand? I was not rich. I just had ideas, and I was already running businesses in the US, but they weren't doing well. So I started over on the continent with very small money. I'm not trying to give away all my business, but we're talking about struggle money. But I trusted my movements because I trusted what I was feeling with regards to coming here, because this was an ancestral pull. It wasn't nothing basic where I'm just like, let me just go try something. It was a pull. So therefore, my moves were going to be great. They were going to be successful because I trusted that that was not my home, and I was no longer going to take that abuse. And I mean, I was right. I was right, because at that point, finally, when I got on that plane, oh, I'll tell you about the support that I received in just a second. When I got on that plane and I landed, you know, I realized like, okay, this is real. But not only that, things actually began to increase for me financially.
Right.
That's just,
So,
you know, the thing. Yeah.
so you say your business is online, and I'm a firm believer of having online business because you're not as sabotage like you are. Let's say you have a brick and mortar.
Uh-huh. Yep. You're not stuck.
Right.
You're
You can
not
move. You
stuck.
can go as long as you have an internet connection. That's what I love about doing things online.
Yes,
As long as you have an internet connection that's reliable, you can do business.
absolutely. And absolutely, and due to the demand that's occurring here on the continent with regards to wanting internet, the fiber optics will increase. As you can see, my internet is stable now. I mean, we're good. There are times where it's not so good. It just depends on if it's a rainy day or, you know, same things which happen in the States. But I want to say one more thing regarding the whole you have to be rich to go to the continent. It's a lie. It's not true. No, it's not true. But you may want to have either savings or business plan that's already activated. I did receive some support of people who believed in me, viewers. You understand? So I started telling my story about how I wanted to get the hell up out of Dodge and how I wasn't feeling comfortable in the States. And I shared my truth with my viewers. And my channel was very small, but I believed in my movement. And so a couple of ladies came together and paid for my flight as well as my daughter's flights. And I think they even took care of the visas. I can't remember because it was such a flood of support that by me focusing on what it was that I truly wanted, the universe just had a way of just bringing me what I needed in that moment. And so these things occur when we're on our right path. Now, if you're not on your right path, you may not get opportunities like that. So I encourage people, if you feel it, just keep moving. And I don't want to get into the whole ancestor thing, but that was something that really influenced my movements as well. And that's why they were protected, and they will remain protected, because it was definitely divine as to why, you know, I even got out here, you know, in the time that I did, during the year of return, which I had no idea that was going on. And I thought that was just such a beautiful merging of energy, you know, because I didn't know it was year of return. I just knew I needed to get back home.
Right. And now I saw a video that you made about obtaining citizenship in Sierra Leone.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
How did
What do you
that
want
come
to know?
about?
Okay, so I've met quite a number of people on the internet. I used to have a Facebook account. I no longer have a Facebook account, but I did meet some friends on there after getting the DNA results through AfricanAncestry.com. So after I received my results, met some cousins, and then we just stayed in contact. So a particular brother by the name of Fode, he's the one. Oh gosh, where's he located? I don't know. But anyways, we stayed in contact, and so throughout the years, he was like, sis, we come in and we're gonna get some love and move forward. So because I stayed in contact with people who were interested in connecting and building in Sierra Leone, one day I just got a call and said, come home, you know, we have a surprise for you. So I went home, and then lo and behold, this particular group that I was with, because we had our proof of ancestry, because we had the results with us, they granted us citizenship just on the spot. And I was very surprised by it, but all the work that I had been doing, you know, on the continent promoting, I felt like it was a gift. So I was really happy about that. And another thing I want to share too, which I did not know, many people will say, "Oh, you can't do that," but when in Africa, it is what it is. And I do believe you can actually have multiple citizenships. And I did not know that, because people were saying, oh, you can't do this or that and this and that. And I'm like, I'm not necessarily trying to hold on to US citizenship. I don't have an attachment like that. It's just something that's just there, you know. But needless to say, there are multiple countries which we could actually occupy freely and build and you know, be citizens, whether through marriage and or ancestry. So that's pretty much how that worked out, just through DNA. Sierra Leone is one of the countries which at this moment in time requires that you provide DNA proof that you're related to those that are living there today.
Okay, okay. You know, I use African ancestry, at least on my dad's side, and I found something that was very interesting on my dad's side.
What you
Um,
find?
I found that my dad's lineage had traveled all the way up to Spain.
Really?
Yeah,
Portugal?
yeah, no, Spain, not being Spanish,
Oh, oh,
but
okay.
Spain as in the Moors.
Oh, okay.
Because you know the Moors had conquered that area around about eight. They was running about 800 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so I
Yes,
need
I've seen
to
that.
do.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen
I
that.
need to do my mom's side
Your
now.
maternal.
Yeah, and then I talked
Yes.
to my dad about that, and he said, "Yeah, we got actually a lot of Moors in our family, even still to this day, that link themselves to Moorish." You know, I said, "Really?" He
Okay.
said, "Yeah." You know, when I came to him about it, so I thought that was very interesting. That's some of my background. Actually, speaking just
Very interesting.
history, the Moors
Yeah.
taught Europeans how to bathe because they didn't bathe like that. Because the Moors used to bathe in the morning and the evening because they used to be afraid of water. They believed water
Wow.
made them sick.
Hmm.
Yeah, just study the
Nice.
history. You know, that's a tidbit of the history.
Thank you
Uh,
for sharing.
yeah, I'm telling you, it just you watch them old slave movies, and you know that you'll see a lot of times they be dirty looking constantly in those movies. I don't know if you paid attention to that.
I have paid attention to that.
Yeah, they didn't bathe like that. I mean, it's
Yeah.
very interesting. But with that being said, so are you going to like maybe get some property in Sierra Leone since you're a citizen?
Oh, absolutely. Right now, because I'm working in Ghana, I'm just taking it step by step. There's been so many opportunities that have opened up to me here in Ghana with regards to doing projects here. I really want to focus on just finishing this first one and then possibly another one in the eastern region, which I've grown to love as well. Um, as far as Sierra Leone, not right now because it's just too much going on. You know, I have
Okay.
interest in Tanzania. You know, I have friends there, and I absolutely love that country. Had it not been for me starting my project here, I'd be working out there. So, you know, but my plan is to travel as many African countries as I can in my lifetime because this continent is amazing. It is very mysterious, very beautiful. It lifts your continents and your spirit and your energy. It just puts you right back. If you're from here, if your ancestors are from here, it puts you right back where you need to be. It's just a good network that many of us want.
Yeah, so as I said, that is great. Like I said, Tanzania, we should be going over there this year, actually, later in the year, for a couple of days just to do some things.
Nice.
I've never been to
Okay.
Tanzania, so that'd be an awesome thing, for us to
It's
go to.
a wonderful country.
Um, but with that being said, ES, could you tell people how to get to your YouTube channel? Because maybe they said, I want to go see what she's talking about and what she got going on.
All right. Yeah, my channel is Eat Love Migrate. So you can type in YouTube and slash Eat Love Migrate. And don't forget, you can check me out on my website at eatlovemigrate.com. And then if you like pictures and little short clips, we have the Instagram account, Eat Love Migrate. And if you really want to take it up a notch, you can check me out on my Patreon and support the self-sustainable build, which I'm doing out here. It's pretty much my first home on the continent, but sorry about the noise, you guys. It's also allowing for me to create guest homes for people who want to travel here and delve into traditional spirituality in comfort. 6 months out of the year, it will be open to the public to come for free. They just have to do the communal help, as in support the power, support the energy, support the water, you understand, because that is what was given to me. I just needed to help like pull my weight in the environment. So I want to help people learn more about the traditional aspect because that is a missing link as well, our spiritual sanity. That's something that was taken from us. So that's pretty much my niche out here. But those are my social platforms. Eat Love Migrate on YouTube.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go to Eat Love Migrate's YouTube channel, support her everywhere. Watch it. Her content. Like I said, she
Thank
out there
you.
in Ghana. She
I
doing it.
appreciate you.
She's doing it now. I got to ask you a question. Yes, I'm just got to ask you a question. Have you found a cameraman in Ghana yet to start helping you film?
There's been plenty of cameramen. It's just that it's kind of hard because I'm up north, and many people don't want to come up north because they're not ready for that real, you know. But there's been a couple of cameramen who have actually reached out to me. So once I'm done building, hopefully somebody can come through. Everyone's welcome, you know, if you can carry your own weight. But that's pretty much why I have not had one, because no one's in my area that can do it and just be a part of the team and grow. So.
Oh,
But we know
okay,
I need
okay.
one.
So basically, what you're saying is you're not trying to be an Accra. You up there in basically in that village life.
Yeah, because I mean, I love the good life, luxury, and all of that. But there's some really good healing that you'll find right there in the village. Some really great people, and they hold all the magic. So that's why I hang out with the people with all the magic.
All right. So, like I said, we definitely thank you for joining us today. ES, you have a blessed time, and I'm glad you got over
You too.
malaria,
Thank you.
because
Thank
that is
you.
something I
Why
did
you
not
didn't talk
know.
about that part?
How do I know that?
I said, why you didn't talk about that part?
Oh, I didn't talk about that point. It just popped in my head just now. It's like you talk
Oh,
about
okay.
other things, but hey, you got over malaria. You
Yeah.
alive,
Yeah.
and that's
Twice.
one thing about West Africa that I'm just like, oh, so leery of is malaria. I know I took the pills, and you can get in East Africa too, but the
Well, you know,
probability can go so much higher in West Africa.
Well, you know what? To be honest with you, Phil, the whole thing is if you're not taking your precautions, there's a possibility that you'll get bit by an insect that's carrying the parasites. You understand? So,
Mhm.
unfortunately, I've been hanging out in West Africa like I was born here. You see, and so I forgot to take my pills. Like I was so busy building, doing my thing, but there was this one particular day where I had a little dress on that was a little too open, and the mosquitoes were biting me that day. And then, of course, a few days later, I was just like, uh-oh, like something wasn't right. And so that's when I went to the hospital, and they were like, oh, your count is higher this time. And so I responded well to the medication. But the thing about it is, which I told people on my channel, just take the medicine, take your natural herbs, put on your shea, your tea tree, and your neem oil, and they won't bite. And so that's why I'm back on my game. I just got too comfortable. I will say that much.
Yeah, because when I know anywhere is mosquitoes, even here mosquitoes are pretty bad. Here in Houston, you
Yeah.
can get West Nile or different ones you can get here. So it's different areas of
Yeah,
mosquitoes.
exactly.
But
Yep.
yeah, please wear your precaution next time. We don't need to
Absolutely.
see you get
I
malaria.
am totally. No, it's fine. It's like the African flu to me. That's pretty much
Yeah,
like,
but
but
malaria has killed a lot of people, so that's what I'm saying. Just
but
be careful.
listen, Phil, usually it's people who didn't respond, like people who just said, "Oh, I'm okay." You see what I'm saying? That could have been
Mhm.
me. So it's a matter of taking the medication, putting on the solution, and moving forward in life. That's just what it is, unfortunately. And one more thing, in higher altitudes, they don't bite. They're nowhere to be found, such as in Aguri Hills, Obo, Kwau, East Africa. I got bit up there, but I didn't get sick or anything like that. So there are areas here in West Africa, just the higher elevation, you won't have them. It's perfectly fine.
All right. So make sure you wear your stuff, take your
I
medication,
will.
and
Yeah, everybody do
so you
that.
still be here. But make sure you go to Eat Love Migrate YouTube channel, subscribe, and enjoy the content. ES, you be good.
All right. Thank you. Take care, everyone.